for once in a book, I would just like things to go down like this. Hey girl. Hey, I'm the hottest piece of ass in this town and you're coming out with me tonight. No, I'm not doing that. Why not? Because you've been a jerk to me the entire time I've known you? But I'm gorgeous. I really don't fucking care. But what about my abs? Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. What about now? I'm getting really close to you and my eyes are smoldering. You're still not attracted to me? Dude, you're really creeping me out. Get the fuck away from me. My whole life has been a lie. So I seem to have a knack for absolutely hating books that everybody else loves. And today, joining Throne of Glass in this category, I present to you Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So before I started reading this book, I hadn't actually watched any reviews and I didn't know what it was about. I just knew that everybody who had read it pretty much was entirely and 100% in love with it. And so I thought I'd just give it a try and pick it up. And it turned out to be the pretty much biggest mistake I have made since Throne of Glass. It's just really, really, really terrible. And now let me tell you why. So here's what it is about. A girl, 17-year-old girl, moves to a new town, super original, and her neighbors are Dee and Damon. They are siblings and they're super beautiful, very original. Damon is from the very beginning really, really mean to her, like really fucking mean, and Dee is really nice to her, super original. And yeah, so essentially I pretty much gathered that you could say Katie is Bella Swan in this scenario, and Damon Black is Edward Cullen, and Dee Black is Alice Cullen, and there's like, I'm not even kidding you. Maybe the Bella-Katie parallel is the weakest of the three, but it's still like, oh my god, this book it doesn't even pretend to be its own story. It's just like, look, I know you guys love Twilight, so here's a different version of it. Goodness gracious, it drove me so mad. Like, it just had a very bad start in my books because of a lot of these like really super obvious parallels and really unoriginal things and descriptions and just setup. The setup was just super like been there, done that 50 million times before, and so I think I started like hating this book pretty much on page 3. Overall, I also thought the writing style was really poor and very kind of childlike, I want to say. There's really nothing exceptional about this book. I feel like anybody could have written this book. Like, it's, you know how when you read a book you can sometimes, with good authors, you can tell they have their own style of writing, like they put their own twist on it, or they have their own little thing that they do. And with Miss Armentrout, it was just like, this is just a random collection of words. There's nothing, no personality of hers within these pages. There's nothing that kind of sets it apart from anything else I've ever read before. Also guys, the plot holes will eat you alive. I'm not someone who notices plot holes easily because I like not to analyze books, but with this one it was just so in your face I couldn't not notice. And you know what it made me think of? Have you ever watched Scrubs? There's like this one episode where JD is driving down the road on his motorbike or whatever it is, on his scooter, I'm not sure what it is actually, and there's like this huge puddle in the street and he wants to go driving through it, and it turns out it's a huge hole in the street and he falls into it and he comes up like 50 meters further down the road in another hole filled with water. And that's pretty much that pretty much sums up what reading this book was like for me. It is ridiculous how many plot holes there are. I was gonna give you a rundown, but I kind of lost track after page 10, because they will tell you one thing and then a couple sentences later they'll contradict themselves. And it is just super frustrating because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what is actually happening? What's the actual world like? Because I can't get any clear information on it that is not immediately contradicted. I don't like Katie at all. I get that a lot of people thought that she was kind of different from other protagonists because because of her hobbies. They were gardening and books, and she had a book blog and she loved reading books, but it seemed like such a shallow passion of hers. I felt like that throughout the whole book, like nothing was ever more than shallow interest or shallow descriptions or shallow emotions of anything. There was no more where I was like, I can really feel these characters' emotions, like I can really feel with them in a way. For example, to me it was glaringly obvious that Katie only had those hobbies because the author was like, I kind of need to give her hobbies that are not like everybody else's hobbies. And then she just it felt like she just wrote it on a character sheet, like, Katie likes gardening, Katie likes reading, Katie likes her blog. And then that was it. Like, there was no deeper connection between her and that hobby or between her and anything. And even when she talked about her dad, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't pulled into the whole story, the whole scenario. I didn't care at all about her dad dying, and nothing mattered to me. And that's not a spoiler, by the way, her dad dies before the book starts. And I felt the same way about Damon's meanness. There wasn't the necessary conviction behind it. I guess that the author was trying to create an ambivalent character in Damon because he is being mean, and on the other hand he doesn't want to be mean, and so he's torn apart, but it's just not executed well in a way where I'm like, I buy that, you know? I just don't buy that is an actual personality that could possibly exist. I just don't, because it is so all over the place. There's no order to it at all. There's no triggers that trigger that side in him, and there's no events or thoughts or I don't even know, words maybe even, that just spark a certain side in him. It's just totally random. It's like he rolled a dice and was like, am I going to be an ass today or am I going to be nice? And that's just very, very, very unbelievable and not credible at all. And then there's the whole I'm so drawn to you, I can't stay away. Like, seriously, who still believes that that's a thing that actually exists? I certainly don't. And I am sick of reading about it, so sick of it. And now on to Katie, who was actually what I wanted to talk about, because as I mentioned before, a lot of people thought that she was a strong character and that she stood up to Damon, but I actually thought that it was not at all the case. Because yes, she did throw around an abundance of swear words and flipped him off whenever she got the chance, but that's not actually what it means to stand up to someone. That is a part of it, most certainly, but it's not actually doing anything of consequence, because at the end of the day, she still ended up going for a swim with him because Dee hid his car keys. That scene, you guys, I think that scene killed the book for me. I mean, it was already kind of half dead lying on the floor, but that just gave it the kill shot. It's just the most ridiculous third grader behavior, and it just is I was just seriously, that is what they're doing right now, seriously. And Katie said yes to everything. She lets herself be bullied in such a weak manner. If someone was that mean to me, I'd just be like, fuck you, I'm not doing shit with you. I don't care if you have a car. I don't care if your mom thinks it's a good idea. I'm like, Mom, he's actually not nice, he just pretends to be. And I'm sure my mom would believe me over a random stranger that happens to live next door. It really, really bothered me that every time they were in an argument about whether or not she should go out with him or do something with him, first of all, his arguments were so freaking weak. There's no substance behind it. There's no substance behind the entirety of this book, but especially his arguments were just so, I don't care. There's no consequences, actually. There's no actual consequences to me not going out with you right now. So let's drop the pretense. do you want to do stuff or not? Because protecting me, it's just, okay, another plot hole. No, I can't get into the plot holes because I'm never coming out again if I do that. So, Google it. I'm sure there's like a list. There should be a list of like 5 on page 12, another 3 on page 13, then moving on to page 14 where we have 10. That's about the entire book, like seriously. Really briefly, let's just say the whole alien thing is also not very well done. The whole light from the Luxon. Okay, can someone explain to me how a race that arrived on our planet 15 years ago and probably has existed for longer than that and has probably like named their planet before that, like way before that, has picked a Latin name for their planet? Seriously? Are you fucking kidding me? I honestly don't know why this bothers me so much, but it really does. It really does. However, there are some very few good things about this book. I like the second half of it sort of a little bit better than this first, maybe because I got over the initial reaction of, my god, this book is fucking terrible. Or maybe it was because people started acting a little bit more realistically, but I did in parts enjoy the second part, but like not very much. So yeah, there were certain descriptive passages or phrases or just moments that I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. I actually like this. I am all for this. And then it went away again, and then we went back to being just obnoxious and ridiculous. The dialogue, I'm not even going to touch on the dialogue because it's just, whoa. But I do want to give kudos to this book for having an almost sex scene in it, because that was something I did not expect. I was pleasantly surprised by that because I thought that made this book a bit more appealing. Because I mentioned in my, what was it? I'm not sure what video it was. It was probably about the like book haul or something, where I talked about the Infernal Devices trilogy, and I said that I really like that they put kind of heavier making out scenes in it because it is so unrealistic when we like listen to the protagonist fawning over this guy forever and then nothing ever happens, and it just doesn't make any sense because it just doesn't. No one has that much self-control. So I was pleasantly surprised by that because I thought it was kind of a ballsy move. It's not something that we see a lot of in YA because I think a lot of authors are worried that it'll diminish their like audience and their readers to like more mature people. So that was a good thing. If you read and loved this book, as so many others apparently did, I checked my Goodreads, like all of my Goodreads, like 100% of my Goodreads friends that have read this book gave it 5 stars. And these are people that I really, really like watching on YouTube, and I really think they have great taste in books, and I was just surprised to find that we so strongly disagreed on this particular one. So if you love this book or hated it, let me know why. Please do, because I want to know. I honestly want to know. I'm not judging anybody who likes this book because it's at the end of the day just a book, and I'm not gonna judge someone's personality based on what they like to read, but I do want to know your reasons because I'm curious and nosy. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video somewhat entertaining because I realized that I think my rants are far more funny than my raves because I kind of just talk myself into a frenzy and go kind of crazy. But anyway, I love you guys very, very much, and I'm going to see you guys soon. Have a lovely week. Bye! There was some... Can you shut the fuck up, stupid dog? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Is this really a thing now? I am so mad I need to express my thoughts, but no one will listen if there's a dog barking in the background. I will shoot you. I need a shotgun.